Ghana is preparing to usher in a new government after John Mahama's victory in last week's presidential election. The change comes at a crucial time. Ghana is experiencing its worst economic tension in years, despite maintaining its democratic stability. Expectations are high, but Mahama promises he will bring Ghana the reset it needs.
Celebrating a new dawn in Ghana. Supporters of John Dramani Mahama welcome the news of his victory in last week's presidential election. They've given him the mandate to relieve them of their current troubles and, in his words, to reset Ghana. Mahama first became head of state in 2012 after the death of President John Atta Mills, whom he served as vice president, and he's relishing the opportunity to return to the seat of power.
The journey is not going to be easy, my brothers and sisters, because the outgoing government has plunged our dear nation into an abyss. However, we are determined to work together with you to build the Ghana we want.
Mahama was himself criticized heavily for the severe power cuts and alleged growth of corruption during his previous presidency. It's exactly why the people voted him out and rejected him again on his second attempt at a return to the top job. But now the third time's a charm. Ghanaians have decided, in the current context of economic turmoil, that John Mahama is the man to spark change.
Let's bring in Franklin Cudjoe, a Ghanaian political commentator and founder of the Imani Center for Policy and Education. Hello, sir. Welcome. So, former president and now president-elect John Mahama has a lot on his plate, no doubt. He's promised to fix the economy and restart Ghana. What would that look like?
Well, thank you for having me. I think these days when you use the word restart, it means so many things. I think on the just on the issue of governance, I suspect that when the word restart or reset is used, it actually applies to the kinds of governance we witnessed, for which we were all appalled and really surprised that Nana Addo, a defender of human rights, and indeed someone who championed economic rights, could actually have taken us through those dark days. And so when President Mahama says a reset or a restart, in part, it means that we'll try not to witness or try not to replay those darker periods again. And so for me, it's an issue really of governance than probably even the economy, right? Of course, the economy matters as well. But restart would essentially looks like resetting the whole governance architecture again. And then maybe from there, we'll begin to unwind some of the knots around the economy as we have it right now.
Right. I mean, as you say, the economy is definitely key. The list of things that he should do. Number one, definitely the economy. I mean, he's talked about 24-hour economy. Maybe that's part of the plan that would help, reset or restart the whole country. But, we've already established that this will not be Mahama's first time as president. What lessons do you hope he has learned from his previous administration? Because it wasn't all smooth.
Indeed, it wasn't all smooth. I mean, the way he spoke to Ghanaians at some point when he was exasperated, saying the meat the meat has been eaten and is left with the bones. He also famously said he's a dead goat and that people keep complaining, and actually used the word purposeless lamentators at some point in time for those of us who were criticizing him. Those ones, I suspect he will never ever go back to them again. But on the economy, I think clearly speaking, unemployment has been a major issue, and I think the 24-hour economy, by the way, is not a policy. I mean, I see it as an aspirational idea that if all the conditions, as in reduction in taxes, the cost of doing business being high, taxes and all this red tape and bureaucracy and interest rate being high, if they can do something about it, at least we can begin to breathe some sort of fresh air. Because Ghanaians are suffocating under a deluge of taxes. 40 of them I count right now. And they're just too wild and too punitive. And I think even if he manages to reduce them by half, we'd have started the process of resetting the economy. And I suspect also that he needs to work hard on the energy side of things, because you need a lot of energy to be able to how to call it, promote this 24-hour economy, because people would need cheaper power, and people who use might obviously would have to have some rebates.
Right. So we'll have to wait what the next 4 years is going to be like. But key thing is, with this election, Ghana has again proven its strength in democracy. But is Mahama open to being challenged by opposition, civil society, and the media based on his track record?
Well, he's been a beneficiary of those, really. I mean, some of us have not relented at all when this administration came to power. I mean, they are going on. And so he knows exactly what we can do, and he knows exactly what Ghanaians can say. So he'll be the last person to say again that Ghanaians have short memories. He'll be reminded that the Ghanaian is pretty much alive and will take nothing but good governance and indeed accountability.
Right. Looking at regional dynamics, how do you think Mahama might position Ghana's leadership role in West Africa?
It's a pretty important matter. As you know, the Sahel region has become a playground for all this rebel activity, and so without a doubt, I think he needs to have a hold on that, because we cannot afford an implosion from the Sahel region. Well, it's already happening, but we cannot afford it scaling all the way down to the south. So he needs to put his leadership antenna up quickly and see how he can rally around regional leaders, but at least we stem the flow of these should I call it very difficult, but also I mean, he needs to do something about it, really. And I suspect he rely on his former prowess as a leader of the region, and then see how best we can shepherd us along the path of peace.
Right. Franklin Cudjoe, social political commentator. Thank you very much for your time. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.